Do you think men are insecure if they care about a woman's body count?
No.
What about you?
No.
Okay. Lexi? No?
I think sometimes.
Sometimes? Okay.
Depends.
Okay.
Depends.
Okay.
I know I wrote something different. I would just say it's based on your values. If you want a low body count, seek someone who has a low body count. If you have a high one, then don't.
Also, don't expect someone else to have a low body count and be offended if they have a high body count if you yourself have a high body count.
Wait, can you clarify your position on that?
If you have a high body count, you can't be like, oh, a girl has to have a low body count. That's ridiculous. Then you should have a low one.
So you're saying like a person with a high body count,
just hold
they're only allowed
yourself,
to date?
No, I'm saying you shouldn't care. Hold yourself
Why?
to the same standards you're holding everyone else to.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you believe in perfect symmetry between desires between men and women?
That is a weird question. What do you mean
okay,
by
let me see
that?
that. Here, I'll reframe it. In order for you to desire a trait in a partner, need you also possess said trait to desire it?
I don't hold any expectation of someone I date unless I hold myself to that, yes.
Really?
Yes.
And question, what's your orientation? Like, are you straight, bisexual?
I'm straight.
Okay. Perhaps this could be the case for you where there's perfect reciprocity and perfect symmetry when it comes to your own characteristics and then what you desire in a partner. I think this is probably dubious, but even granting this, do you think that this is the case for most women?
Is it the case for most women what?
Do you think it's the case for most women that the things they desire in men, they also possess all those same traits?
I think not just women, but I think in general, it's not the case, no.
So you think attraction, in terms of what we're both attracted to, is perfectly symmetrical. Whatever women want in men, men also want exactly that in women.
Like I said, in a general case with everyone, no, I don't think that's the case. In my case, yes, that's the case.
There's a bit of a delay on the TTS, guys. Well, because I guess my confusion here is that I don't think that there's symmetry in what men and women want. And also, I don't think it's either hypocritical to desire a trait in a partner that you yourself don't possess. For example, just curious, show of hands, do you guys like men who are funny? Everybody, right? Are you guys funny?
I think I'm funny.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm funny, but I make people laugh anyways.
Right, but like, I guess what I'm trying to get at here, I would not fault a woman who was not like, who didn't have like the comedic timing or who wasn't funny. I wouldn't fault her if she wasn't funny at all for finding somebody who is funny attractive, because that is an attractive characteristic to possess, at least for a man. I don't think it would make her a hypocrite. I don't think it would make her wrong, despite her total lack of humor. Perhaps she has a sense of humor. That's a bit different, though. She can detect, she can sense the humor, but she can't actually like make people laugh. Like, she's not funny herself. I don't think it's hypocritical. And I feel like most of you would agree, it wouldn't be wrong for a woman who's not funny to find funny men attractive.
I think
Fair
that's
proposition?
a strict borderline. I think that when you're in a relationship, I feel like you should think your partner is funny. Like,
Really?
Yeah. Because you understand them, and you more so, you should naturally, if you like someone, I think humor and sharing that sense of humor comes in a big play in that. So I feel like whether it's you're funny yourself or you understand the humor and you can joke about it together, sharing that is a mutual thing. If you're someone who is funny and you're a jokester and you're constantly making jokes, and then your girlfriend never laughs at anything you say because they don't understand it even, no, I don't know.
Okay. But do you think everybody is equally funny then?
No, that's why it's
Okay.
base by base.
So then certainly there would be, like, for example, a girl who partners up with a guy who's just like objectively funnier than her.
Like I said, for other people, I don't think it's the case. For me, I would want my partner to think I'm funny, and I want to have a funny partner.
You gotta like remove, like you gotta look big picture here.
This is about our opinions though, so.
What's a bad opinion?
Our opinions about various things, and again,
right, but like
opinions
I'm asking,
are based off your experience.
We're having a conversation about generalities. Like I could just, if you're having a conversation with somebody and you can always point to like some exception to the rule, it's not really productive.
Okay, and I've said this is my personal opinion, and I've also stated generally, do I think it's like that? No, I've said that multiple times.
Right, but so with the body count thing, you're saying, well, like as a guy, if you have a high body count but you desire women with low body count, that's like hypocritical or not acceptable.
It's not about desire, it's about requirement. If you require a female...
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Then why didn't you have a low body count?
I don't see how it's even hypocritical.
I think it is.
Okay, I mean, so just to be clear, so everything when it comes to what you desire in a partner, you two must possess it. Otherwise, you're a
I'm
hypocrite.
Specifically talking currently about body count.
Okay, so all women who want men to pay for dates are hypocrites because they wouldn't do it themselves.
I do it myself.
That's cool. But we're talking about women who their standard is they want men to pay for first dates. Are they hypocrites because they don't want to pay for the first date? Or is this an asymmetrical expectation that cannot be reciprocated due to the asymmetry of the standard?
If a woman wants to follow in line with, let's even go as far as to say, traditional male-female gender roles, and a woman requires a man to perform those gender roles, let's say paying for the date is one of them, and it is a genuine requirement, not a preference, anything like that, it is a requirement, then the woman should have no problem too with also being in that gender role too.
Wait, so the woman with the traditional gender role should not, of men paying for first dates, she should also be in the male traditional gender role?
No. Women who require men to perform their traditional gender role should be with men who want the woman to be in their traditional gender role too. That's how it is.
But that's asymmetrical.
No, that's equal.
Not really.
They want the men to be in their traditional gender role, so they should have a man that wants a woman in their traditional gender role. That is the same. That's exactly the same.
Right, but there wouldn't be like it's not the same thing. There's a difference.
No, there's not. I just stated the same exact thing, but said man and woman.
Yeah, but the traditional gender roles themselves are different. You have to concede that.
Okay, but we're talking about the generality of it, are we not? That's what you just said.
I mean, I suppose I see what you're doing.
We're talking about generality. If we're going to talk generality, it's for generality.
A man who desires a traditional woman, she would be desiring a traditional man. That's still asymmetry.
Should.
Right, but then the actual entailment of those traditional gender roles are still different and asymmetrical.
We're talking about generality. You brought up generality, non-specifics. So
okay.
if we're talking about generality, that is the case.
Look,
yes.
when it comes to the body count thing, and you saying, well, it's wrong for a guy with high body count to want, to desire, or perhaps to even exclusively date women with a low body count or who's a virgin, I don't think it's hypocritical. I don't think it's wrong. Just because this is just the nature of dating, men and women don't have like perfectly symmetrical expectations and desires in partners. For example, like women typically don't approach men. They want the man to make the first move. It would not be hypocritical for the woman to be like, oh, I don't want to make the first move, but they expect the man to make the first move. Does that make sense?
Then they should date a man who likes to make the first move. That's the same exact thing.
And a guy who has a high body count can go ahead and date a low body count woman.
I'm not saying they can't. I'm saying to make it a requirement. To specifically seek that out is weird.
Why?
Because it shouldn't matter. It clearly didn't matter to the guy when he was racking up the body counts. So it shouldn't matter to him that a female has them as well.
Well, he's made a determination. We all want to get the best that we can get in a partner, and he's come to the conclusion after his extensive experience that women who don't display sexual promiscuity actually tend to make for better partners. And for this reason, he's making just like a logical determination that despite my past conduct conduct, I determine that women who have a low body count or who are virgins are going to make for a better long-term partner. Ergo, I'm going to pick the best option that I can get.
That in and of itself is rooted in hypocrisy as well.
How is that hypocritical?
If we're going by the line that, oh, well, if you have lower, let's make that assumption. If you have lower, that means you're going to be a better partner or long-term partner. And you have to experience things and try out your options, whatever you worded it. Then females should be doing the same thing, and they can't paint it as a bad thing then that
No, I'm not
partner.
advocating for male promiscuity. I'm saying he happens to have a high body count.
Okay.
And this isn't central, this isn't core to the argument, but because of actually his experience, he has actually come to a determination that actually when it comes to like long-term relationships, women who have low body counts make for better romantic partners.
Then I would say that in that case, men with lower body counts make for better partners, and that woman should not date him.
I mean, that's up to her determination, but it occurs to me that there's also an asymmetry insofar as men have a much greater issue when it comes to female promiscuity than the reverse.
I would not agree with that, but I'm not going to talk on that.
You disagree with that?
I disagree, but I'm not going to talk on that. Firm decision.
Oh, why? Just curious.
Firm decision.
Is it triggering for you
No.
to talk about body count?
Firm decision. I talked about body count. I'm
Because
talking
you
about
don't wanna get
promiscuity and stuff
BTFO'd
like that. No,
on
I
your
don't really
worldview,
care about that.
Okay. Well, going around the table, those of you, a lot of you said body count, whatever, shouldn't matter, not a big deal. Going around the table, what's your body count starting with Pos? Go ahead.
Oh, I feel like most people already know this though.
But there's new viewers, there's new people at the table. Go ahead.
Range between like 50, whatever.
50 to 60.
Yeah.
Okay. Since your last appearance, how many bodies?
I've been up 2.
2 bodies since last time? Okay. And you're 21, right?
Yeah.
21. Like, have you like thought about like I'm just curious, the math or whatever? Like by the time you're 30, like what do you think the like is it going to be like 100 plus, you think, by 30?
No, I think right now I'm just like
You're slowing down?
a little bit more picky, yeah.
Okay.
But before I was more like I did not want to like not be with multiple guys at once. To like the point where like once I threw a party and I had like every guy I was talking to show up, and I had everyone like wear the same colors so I knew who they were, go to each one of them, be like,
Wait, you did this?
Yeah.
Wait, you invited all the guys you hooked up with?
Yeah, just all at once. I can just like get it over with.
Wait, you did
and, like
this?
meet everyone. Yeah, I had everyone wear the same colors so I knew who they were. Pink.
Wait, you actually did this? Did you say this on the last show?
I don't think so. I don't know.
How many
maybe.
men showed up?
I only invited 7.
Wait, so 7 dudes? Was there an orgy afterwards, or?
No.
So you invited 7 dudes who all had carnal knowledge of you, and they all wore pink, and then they just like had a bro sesh and kicked it?
I don't think anyone like actually knew about it because I always throw like themed parties, so it wasn't odd for me to like tell people like dress code or whatnot. So.
But you only told the dudes that you hooked up with to wear pink.
Yeah, everyone else
Could wear something else.
Yeah, like a different theme to like the party I had.
And did they know?
No. I mean, they probably know now if you're seeing this.
That's wild. That's crazy, Pos. What the hell? All right.